I think what I'm going to talk about in this video is probably going to be a little bit on hardship. I'm very grateful tonight here. This is episode number 503. Who am I? Santos Rolon Jr., Stockton, California, the founder of the Soldiers of Self-Mastery. This should be a lot better, I think, now. I think so. Okay, well, I guess Proverbs 4:23. Let me see. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart, for out of your heart are going to come the issues of life. Gambling, when you think about gambling is just another problem. Gambling is just another problem, like alcohol, like if you smoke way too much pot, other things, overeating. Sometimes it could be too much sugar. The problem is that people are not making it. They're not overcoming. Most people that can, you can do this. You can break through. You're just too distracted, and your vision is not serving you. Whatever it is that you got thinking about up here, it is basically wiping you out, friend. It's wiping you out. No wonder you can't quit. No wonder it's hard. Santos, man, I tried. I tried a lot of things. I remember I was the kid that wouldn't even go to class. Don't come. You got to write a report tomorrow for school? Oh man. What kind of an excuse can I make? Because I can't do that. My knees would start to shake. If you could see my knees, I didn't want to go to school. It was the challenge, man. It was too big for me. And I remember when I achieved this thing here. I achieved it, and I got a 2020. And there's a I knew I was going to make it. I knew I was going to make it. Why? Because I trust in God's word, number one. You know what God does? And again, if you're not breaking through, it's because you've got too much focus. That's why I said you got to remove. I'm going to be here for a little bit. I promise you that if you stay here during this episode, you're going to walk out different. I'm not saying you're going to change into a frog or anything like that, right, overnight. That's not what I'm saying. What I will say is that you will have something given to you tonight through these airwaves that's going to help you think what are distractions that don't mean anything to me. Let me share something with you. I have about a level 8 pain. Any doctors out there? Do you know what a level 8 pain is right now? Do you know what a level 8? You know what a level 2 pain is, right? I should be lying in bed with a heat pad. I'll tell you, this finger right here, and this finger right here, when I run my fingers, it feels like I'm pressing against a bunch of tiny needles. It's hard for me to grip things. You know, when you tie your shoes, a lot of things that you take for granted. Shaving, moving your arms. And yet, I've chosen to be here. I live in my car, folks. I'm about an hour and a half away from where I normally stay. Well, Santos, why do you stay in your car? Yeah, nerve pain. And I refuse to take a lot of that medication. It's just a 5 milligram. You know what I'm doing this, man? I'm putting myself through pain. I'll tell you honestly, man, I don't want to be here. The only reason why I'm here is because I made a commitment to myself. Santos, you made a commitment. You go on there late. Don't go on there. You go on there late. And you share with the folks. You inspire these people because you're not the only one that's going through some severe, deep shit. Mistreatments of different kinds. You know, I don't know. Maybe I've entered into a season where God is allowing me to be tested by people in the hospitals, man, or either that, or I'm a bad person, man. Right? I'm a bad person, and I deserve a punch in the face, man. Santos, man, I'll get you, man. Oh, right? Maybe I don't know, but you guys can determine that. When you listen, you know, I'm gonna say something here. It's probably gonna shock some of you guys. In fact, it's shocking me. You guys are speaking to a prophet of God, a man of God. And it's not because I'm better. It's not because I work something. Hell no. Folks, some of you deserve it better than me. I know I don't deserve it. But God is speaking to the world out there through this mouth. And I can assure you that what he's doing, he's showing me, it's not me. It's like he wants me, like I'm going through all these pains and all this stuff Let me share something with you guys. Do I look like a drug addict to you guys? Somebody say, do I look like a drug addict? Put it in there. Well, Race is the only one that seems to said hi, Baton. But do I look like you know, do I look like a drug addict to you guys? I met a new doctor. Listen, folks, listen to me because you need to hear this for you, because you need this breakthrough in your life. Because if you don't get the breakthrough, you may not have another chance, man. And I'm not saying the breakthrough is going to happen immediately tonight, but if you listen, folks, listen. What is God saying through this man of clay? What is God saying to you guys through this man of clay? I'm like Adam. I'm a clay man. Clay. What does clay mean? You're made from the earth. You know, it's weird that we need copper, we need magnesium, we need silver, little bits of these little metals and rocks, if you will, salts. Where does that come from? So somebody says, well, you're a man of God, but you're still a sinner and you make mistakes. Look at the Bible, friend. A lot of people are not reading the Bible. Santos, why are you so heavy on the Bible? Because if it wasn't for the Word of God and God Himself, I wouldn't be here. So I'm dealing with pain. You know why I'm dealing with this pain? Even though, man, to wash my hands, it's almost like running them under hot water. I try to limit that so I don't bathe at least for 7 days. No, I'm just kidding. I try to bathe every other day. Anyway, even though I'm living in the car. But glory to God, man. God sets us free from gambling. He sets us free from weed, from pornography. He sets us free from wicked people. And you have to be a vessel. You have to be a vessel. You have to believe. And how do you believe if you don't believe? Santos, I don't believe. How do you believe? Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So if I'm speaking to somebody here, that means you're hearing the word of God. If your ears are tingling, you know, what do you mean, Santos, tingling? Are you hearing something beyond me? Are you, okay, you're watching me, you listen, but there's something else going on, right? What could that be? People need the Lord. People need the Lord. When will we realize that He can change our lives? 'cause people need the Lord. At the end of broken dreams, He's the open door. I tell you, God, give me strength. God, give these folks strength that are watching, they're listening, Lord. It's not about me, Lord. Let them know it's not about Santos. Santos is just he's like a cable. He's like a pipe. He's like a fork. He's like a spoon, a plate, if you will. He's like a light bulb. And you folks, you can be that in your own life, in your own way. We ought to serve one another. That's one of the reasons why I believe I'm getting breakthroughs out of time, 24/7. Who else is with me here? I'm telling you folks, man, it doesn't matter to me. People can say, you know what, Santos, I'm going through this and this. There's some bad things out there, right? I'm not saying that I'm got, but for me to be able to stand up here with 3 discs in my neck, 3 discs in my lower back. Right now I'm hurting just standing here a little bit. But I've been sitting down all day, so that hurts too. So it's like, you know, sometimes honestly, I say to myself, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward. If you get what I'm saying, this place that we're stepping on, this place is not my home. I don't know about you, but this place is not my home. See, part of this home is the casinos and all this. Santos, do you get tempted lately? I have been getting tempted. But I haven't given in. Why? Because I'm going before you guys. Because I'm praying and I'm asking God for strength, for courage. Friend, you need courage. You need courage to defeat that thing. And you may not be able to get courage by yourself. I couldn't. Eventually, I realized that. You know what? I've been seeking help from counselors and psychiatrists, therapists, social workers over the years, ever since I got out of the military. I've made it this far. But in the middle, I got caught up with some ugly things. Some of you know what my past is, not my future. You might know my future. If you study my videos, you'll be able to see into the future yourself. Isn't that something? What do you mean, Santos? If we listen to some of your videos, we can see into the future? Yes. Yours. Not mine. Yours. Right? Do you really care about the future of the world? Which one do you care about the most? The world out there, everything that's changing outside of you, that will suck you in like a twin turbo, brand new Kirby vacuum? Think about that. Anyways, I'm kind of getting distracted here. The thing is that God will work through us to achieve great things if we just move the distractions aside, slap them back and forth. Exactly. And I'm going to be, let me see, I'm here 18 minutes. I'm probably going to be here another 10 more minutes. I'm not afraid to admit what I'm going through, because confess your faults one to another. And I'm not asking you guys to confess your faults here. You don't have to do that. See, nobody can come to me and first of all, I've learned one thing, that if somebody really disrespects me and I know that they're disrespecting me, I've been disrespected enough times to know that at the moment that I feel disrespected, I turn and I walk away. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to say, you triggered me, lady. Let me share something with you that happened to me. Welcome. By the way, if you enjoy, subscribe, comment, like, and share. Could you spare, if you dare, $7? $7. I'm asking. I'm trying to do my donations to others, the Jacobs Project. I don't know, I really like the community in Pakistan because I was there. Paralyzed Veterans for America. I was giving to St. Jude's, and I don't know, I may start giving back, but I give into this ministry. I do give. Whatever you give, some of it goes right back here. So thank you. I appreciate that. This guy, man, I owe this guy, man, if I could make a big, I owe him a big old bicep. See, show you how weak my arm is. Look at that. It's weak. I can't really move it compared to this thing, you know? I got power over here, man, but, and then I'm living in a van down by the river. Well, that's going to change. I know that's going to change because the veterans are helping me. Nice a time. There you go, Santos, another drone. Dono. Out of time. I'm going to put him on my, let me see. I always try to put him, by the way, Out of Time is a moderator. You know that, right? Out of Time. You are a standard moderator. So if you see something in the chat that you know I would not approve of, you got my permission, man, to wipe it out. Just take it out. We're here to build faith. I'm here to build warriors. You know, I'm tired of men getting beat down and stepped on and set aside, particularly by women too. Because you can have severe woman problems and you will gamble. That's one of the things that drove me to gambling. Being blamed. Well, you're the problem. You did this and you followed me, and I don't recall any of that, but I do recall going here and doing these things. Of course. But why would I do that? Why would I step on your toes? Because you stepped on mine? The Bible says, be angry and sin not. Friend, you're going to break through that gambling addiction that you have on the other side, that horrible, nasty. It's like it has all boogers all over it, man. The boogers. People picking their noses and stuff and putting it on those machines, and then you're going there and you're touching that. Feel it, man. That's exactly what it is, man. It's like you're touching boogers, man. Boogers on top of boogers. I went to an appointment last week. Mind you, I've been to 13 emergency rooms. Not just for my arm and my neck. In the last 3 weeks, like 13, 14 emergency rooms. Who sent you there, Santos? Well, TRICARE, the VA systems. I follow protocol as best as I can. I'll never get everything 100%. Get rid of that word, I'm not perfect. That's bullshit. Get rid of that. I will never get everything 100%. Maybe 80%. If I can tweak this enough, right? And move the distractions. Move the TikTok. Move the gaming. Move the invitation that you get a coupon with 2 toasters for that you can put bagels and cheese in. Distraction. Too much YouTube. Too many. Man, I watched Santos today. I watched 3 minutes of one of his videos. I watched 5 minutes of Adano, the guy over there. That, again, too much distractions. Boom, get rid of that. Too much YouTube. Boom, set a limit. Okay, I'm gonna watch 1 video or 2 videos today. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna exercise 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Anyways, I went. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let me see. I don't know where Jim is, but I was accused, more or less. I met a new doctor. I was supposed to have a new doctor. And I gotta stand up because my neck is hurting really bad right now. I tell you, I've been through so much in the last week, man. So I went to the doctor. I met my new doctor, another doctor, female, because I don't like being in a room with men. Some of you may understand that. I do not appreciate, I can be in a room with one man that's a good friend. But when you start having 2 or 3 men in that room, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I've been abused. And I won't talk about that. Most of my life and most of my relationships, I've been the bad one. Because I left. Because I did this, because I did that. So I go to my appointment. Here's a new doctor. I'm in pain, about level 8, level 9 pain. Okay. Uh, I barely get to sleep at night, and I took one of my little tablets to alleviate some of the pain because I was probably at about a level 8. Usually when I go in there, I have high blood pressure. So I calmed myself down. Within about a half an hour, the pill started working. It's a little 5 milligram pill, very small, and it just barely helps. It barely helps. Today I've gone most of the day without it, and I'm about to take it after this and go straight to bed. Well, take a hot shower here. I haven't bathed in 7 days, so you know what that is if you're living in your van. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding about bathing. Would you believe that that doctor, I won't say her name, she didn't really, she said, "What are you here for? You know, I'm so and so." She introduced herself as, I didn't even hear what she said. All I know is her name starts with a B and she's a doctor. So she started in on me as soon as I got in there. I think this doctor has a severe problem. So I said, I'm here for the refill of these tablets, you know, the 5 milligram, because they're giving these to me. They last 3 days. They're supposed to last me 3 days, but I'm extending them a little bit more so that I don't, you know, I'm not going to become an addict. They're oxycodons. I think they're oxycodons is what they are. Where's my bottle? And they're just 5 milligrams. So anxiety much? I haven't bathed in 2 weeks, to be honest. Hey, sometimes it's good for you, right? Actually, uh, the skin actually does better for a little bit because you know, when you bathe with all those chemicals, you're gonna hear it. Yeah, they do damage. Soap and all that stuff yeah, we're not bathing naturally anymore, and the chemicals in the water. So our skin gets oxidized very quickly. You can tell as you get older, you can see things very. Anyways, the doctor said you're flagged in the system, Roland. I said, well, what does that mean? She said, you've been to many emergency rooms in the last few weeks. I said, yeah. She goes, I might have to cut you off. Okay, but what are you insinuating? She hadn't read the notes. She don't know who I am. She didn't read in the system. See, this is why it's important for you to know who you are. People will take advantage of you, and so will gambling, and so will any addiction. Maybe it was the boot camp I went through, right? The little combat zone that I had on the ship, 93 days on the Indian Ocean. I said, so, you know, what is this all about? She goes, well, you know, you've been through 2 emergency. I said, look, I've been doing whatever the VA tells me to do. You know, if they told me to go to this doctor or this hospital, right? And I'm not getting pills from anybody but one source. Sacramento Mather Hospital is one of the biggest hospitals there in that area. I went a month with all this freaking pain trying to do ibuprofen. I stuffed myself with ibuprofen because that's what they told me to do. Everybody, ibuprofen, Tylenol, and all this other stuff. And you know what? My stomach, I couldn't eat. I couldn't go to the bathroom for like 2 weeks. Well, I went twice. That was horrible. I've never experienced that in my life. Anyways, and I got off of all of that shit. And then my stomach cleared up. It's amazing. They're poisoning us. I better be careful what I say. They are. That's why I'm not taking any shots, no flu shots, no shingle shots, no corner shots, no floor shots, no face shots. They ask me all the time, no, thank you. No, 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 no. I'm not going to be intimidated by that. And because you know what? If I'm going to die, I'm going to die and he's going to provide the way for me to pass away. I don't need to be hooked on these pills and all that stuff. And believe me, I don't like taking pills anyways. I like to do natural things in moderation. And that's what I do in moderation. Anyways, more or less this doctor that I never met, she was supposed to be my new doctor, supposed to work with me. I've got a lot of stuff going on. She basically was accusing me of being a drug addict. And as I'm talking, Santos, do you recommend people to go to Gambling Anonymous meetings if it gets really bad? Well, I would say probably, what do you think God would tell you to do? You know, that's what I would say. If I'm faced with that circumstance, I would say, okay, I wonder what my father would do, right? My father, earthly father that I passed away, 23. I wonder how he would handle it. And then I asked myself, how would God handle it? How would God want me to handle that? That's the best answer I can give you, man, because God has been so real. Let me finish my story, and I'm gonna look for questions there. And I really thank you, 24/7 for. I don't know if you're winning the lottery out there, but before you go play, I guess if you're donating here, that's fine by me. But anyways, I'm not saying that you're doing that. It's just a joke. But some people were donating here for a while back, a few times, just a few dollars, $20 in ones or something. And I think some of those people were gambling, and they were sending the money, a few dollars here, donations, not a lot. So first, the doctor accused me of, more or less, she should have said, you're a drug addict. Looking, well, do I look like a drug addict? I asked her, I said, do I look like a drug addict? And she goes, are you giving me the finger? I don't have a lot of control, monitor, with my hand because they're burning. This is all burning all the way up here, and it hurts, man. It hurts to hold things, especially if it's cold. Oh, man, I almost lost it, folks. I thank God that I'm not gambling. I thank God that nothing has a hold on me like it used to. I don't care what it is, man. Heroin, cocaine, women. Oh boy, you want to talk about being addicted to females? Some of you might know that. That's one of the reasons why I'm living in my car. I've been there going on my third week, and I'm not afraid to say that. Again, it's temporary. I might be there another month, maybe if that, 2 months possibly. But I have a friend. I'm up in the mountains here. Let me show you something here. Let me see. Anyways, we're up in the mountains. Let me. And then I'll finish my story about the doctor, okay? Remind me of that. But I'm not on Wi-Fi, so. The thing is, see, I can even come out here. There's not that much light, but that's the back. You know what I'm gonna do? Can I do this? Yeah, this is gonna be better here. Listen how beautiful that is out here, man. Anyways, as I was saying, the doctor accused me of giving her the finger. A VA doctor, would you believe that? Because my hand doesn't work that well. I said, did I give you the finger? I asked myself, like, she goes, yeah, you just gave me the finger, you know? And I go, ma'am, I didn't mean to give you the finger. I'm not trying. Maybe she thought that I was giving her the finger because she was going to cut me off the medicine. That's what I was thinking. Anyways, so my background, I just don't want to get bit by mosquitoes, man. Listen, I was already triggered that day that I went. See, it's these days like that cause you to be triggered, and you go do those things that you don't want to do, and then you get further entangled, and then you get further and further distracted, and then and then you don't even know what to distract, or what is it that I need to do first? What do I need to distract? I apologized. I apologized. I was, I was heated. I was mad. I was belittled there. She reminded me of people that most of my life have been saying, you know what, it's your fault. Especially the females on on my family side. It's your fault. Well, this is going on because, you did this and you should, whatever. I tell you, folks, I'm done. I'm going to be gone here in a little bit. I set a boundary for myself and to show my family. A man gets to a point where he takes on the weight of the stuff that's going on around him, especially if he's being abused by like a narcissist, maybe a covert narcissist. That's what I felt in the hospital. See, us men, like, I don't know about you, but the moment that I walk into a space and I start talking to somebody, a woman, it's almost like my ears go like 100 times better. My eyes lock on. Like it's like I gotta look at what I'm talking to. I gotta see. I gotta feel you, lady or sir, whoever. I want to feel you. I want to know who you are because you're a threat to me. Right? It shouldn't be that, but I know how to walk away. And if I have to defend myself, and who knows, sometimes you may end up in trouble doing that. But you know, you have the lesser of two evils, if you will. All right, let me turn the camera around because so I said I was going to be on here for a few more minutes. Thank you, thank you. Did I heart that one? I probably didn't. Anyways, so I don't know if that makes sense about the. I mean, you could go to one of those places. Yeah, I'm getting clout here. My arm is already hurting. See, just from being out here. I'm telling you, folks, man, having pinched nerves. It's kind of a little mobile home he has here up in the mountains. Little, so I'll be sleeping there tonight, right there. And he said, "Hey, why don't you use the screen?" But I don't know how to use the big screen, or else I would have done something there for. But it's okay. Hey, I appreciate anybody that's shown up tonight. You make me inspired. You inspire me. So I'm going to be getting off the airways here pretty soon. Look, I thank you, man. I can't thank you enough for that. And again, listen, I am living in my vehicle. My vehicle's out there. Unfortunately, I've fallen into some hard times, but I'm going to get up, man. A good righteous man falls down. Sometimes he's misunderstood. And even while you're on your journey of healing, right? You're on your journey of healing. You be excited about that. There's people that are going to step on you while you're on that journey. There's people that will step on you. So you have to expect that. So what do? You learn. You're on the road, right? And you don't have to be all on the look, but you're casual, you're patient. You respond instead of reacting. You'll win over gambling. See, if you respond to the temptation, wherever it is, wherever it comes from, it might be a smell. Santos, you mean to tell me that a smell can cause us to go gamble? Look it up. Look it up in there and see if fact check me. Sometimes I have read so many books and I've listened to so many people over the years on YouTube that information comes out of me, and of course the Lord helps. And I realize, wow, I had that a long time ago and it just came out now. Something that I read over and over. It's interesting how that works. Maybe I wouldn't went to the casino tonight, but since I got Santos on my side and I hear the message loud and clear, who knows? Yeah, legacy mindset. I fear for a lot of the men, young men that are out there, man. You know what? A lot of men are going to be taken down by women. Women they're just getting, some of these women are getting more clever. So young men will be brought down. Gambling, alcohol. Think about this one. You ever think about the bottle, right? I don't drink anymore. I might drink a beer once in a while, maybe half a beer. That's it. But the bottles of wine and all these other, apparently, I've never seen this. Oh, yes, I have seen it. It says spirits on it. Have you ever noticed that? Spirits. And let me get back to the spirits because that's exactly what you're messing with. There's a spirit behind the casino, folks. The casino isn't run by people. It looks like it is. There's they're bootleggers serving cards, what have you. Bootleggers. They're serving cards, but they're people. Oh no, my friend. No, no, no. There's more behind that. we'll get in. These are deep subjects. But anyways, I left the hospital. I did. I left the hospital. I was really upset. And I told that doctor that I didn't want to work with her anymore. I said, you judged me. You have no right to do that. You you were telling me that you have problems with your neck and your bones and you suffer like it was nothing. I don't think she's ever had a pinched nerve. She wouldn't talk like that, you know. Let me tell you something. If you've ever had a pinched nerve, or if you don't have one, you take care of yourself, because if you ever get one, it has. I'm sure that these things like this, if they don't get help soon enough, you start to lose you lose hope. And the pain is so high that that can't tolerate pain, they fix it permanently. You know what you know what I'm talking about? It's called unaliving. That's what pain does to people. See, I know these things, right? How do I know these things? Not just because of this, but because I study the Bible too, and God shows me these things. It took a lot for me to go through this, take the exam. This was a 24-hour or 48-hour, 72-hour boot camp, and then there's an exam. I passed it. I had, because I understand people. I understand. I'm very curious about what makes you tick, man. See, I'm curious. Why am I curious about you? You should be curious about yourself. I'm very curious about myself. In fact, I'm amazed with myself. I'm amazed of what I've been through. I'm amazed of what I'm going through today. I've been homeless before. I've been in shelters, but I never slept in my car for 3 weeks, or going on 3 weeks. So I'm grateful, and I just ask, yeah, thank you for contributing, especially there out of time. Prayers, man, prayers. And I'm going to be coming live again on Sunday. I'm going to be going live on Sunday. That same day that I had those mishaps on the first floor and the second floor of the hospital, I did file a complaint, and I said I didn't want to be with that doctor. Remove me from her. It's probably best. Uh, she acted a little bit too much of a narcissist in that room for me, and I'm not playing with narcissists. I'm not playing with them. I won't give them the time of day unless they respect me. Because if not, out of here. I don't need the. What they do is they cause you to react, and we have to respond. You know, again, the thought about gambling, the addiction, you react. That's why you keep doing it. You keep going. You keep going. Then when you start throwing the word respond, okay, how am I going to respond? That you stop and think about. That's going to help you reframe your main brain so that you don't sustain from the crane, from the lame, the ones who blame, because it's a shame. That's the name of the game, I guess. Um, yeah, Daryl, the throw of the dice is exciting. Yeah, it gets you though. Yeah, it gets you though. I know. We used to play on the ship when I was on an aircraft carrier. I think these guys had trick dice. I used to love rolling the dice. In fact, that's how I started gambling. I used to go up to Reno. And anyways, back to my story. I got to finish it. See, it's in pieces. So I left the hospital to go up where to another appointment that same day. This is why I thank God that He hasn't allowed me to snap upon myself. I got on the video. I was supposed to have a therapy appointment. I had a rough day, man. You know, and it's painful. So I'm just seeking therapy so I can get into a pool of water, so I can get acupuncture. But you got to go through these people first. You know, you got to give up something to get something from the VA. They do give you. Think about it. We risk our lives. The VA gives us back a little bit of money as we get older, a pension. Anyways, she did not show up for that video appointment. So I waited. I sent another, after 20 minutes, I sent another text. You know, this is what I'm going through, and I'm sorry that I have to lay this out on you, but this is what I was diagnosed with, and the other thing, and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I think that you guys are just too busy, and I'm probably just going to cancel the therapy. She called me back. She apologized. She didn't have to. I accepted her apology. I said, you don't have to. And then she goes, well, if you want, you know, stop doing this. I said, doesn't matter. I'm here. If you want to stop this, you can. Stand for yourself. Folks, I'm going to get off the airwaves. I really want to thank those of you that have inspired me tonight. Uh, I know somebody heard a word of God because it's right here. Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart. Protect your heart. Because out of it will come the issues of life. And if your mind is all curled up like a pretzel and your heart is not pumping blood, you know, all that stress that you got going on, if your body's not pumping blood, man, thank God, you know, I don't know how much longer I can go with this, but ChatGPT says that I should not be, I mean, I'm pretty far into the game where I might end up causing permanent damage, but there's nothing I can do. Absolutely nothing but wait. I'm supposed to see the neurosurgeon. She sounds like a really nice lady. I spoke with her. So I got to travel to Travis Air Force Base. This is another thing that helps me out, folks. You know, right now I get a small check, right? I use that check to pay my car. I said most of the credit cards that I have, they're all gone. I have a few left, $50, $60. I'll catch up with all of that. I don't know how long, but you know what I did have, unfortunately, it goes in gas. You know, my SUV is not the best. It's a small Kia, but man, that thing sucks gas unless I'm on the freeways all the time. So it's costing me, man, pretty much $60 at least every 3 to 4 days. I don't know, maybe that might not be about that. 55, $60 about every 3 to 4 days, I think, depending on how I'm driving. If I'm in town, that's about 2 days. I fill up the tank, it's gone in about 2 days. So, you know, and some of you guys are in the same. By the way, if you have a ministry that you guys donate to, please share it with me because I like to donate too. I take some of the money that comes in, you know, a little bit, and there's a couple charities that are really upon my heart. And I do that. That's why I take a little bit of that, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of. Anyways, all right. Women can deal with pain better than men. Sometimes, sometimes they can. Wow, thank you, brother. I wasn't expecting that, man. What do I owe you? We're gonna have to get on and do a one-on-one coaching. Uh, Out of time, 24/7. Appreciate that. City by the Bay Santos. Thank you for speaking on some deep topics. Thank you guys for being here. Legacy mindset. Rena love. Women have babies out of mustard seed pain. It's absolute to us. I believe that. And you know what's even more painful for a woman at birth? Also, when the baby comes out of the birth canal, those babies are not laughing. Generally, they're screaming at the top of their lungs. Why is that? What are they experiencing? Mama? Maybe. But they've been with mama, right? They know mama. They know her. The baby knows your emotions or understands a little bit about them because they're forming their own emotions. But whatever you ate, whatever you drank, if you had a lot of carrot, I like pressed carrot with pineapple, ginger. Oh, I love those. Helps cleanse you out too. So a little bit of apple, a little bit of spinach, a sliver of ginger, carrots, uh, pineapple, blended into it. So the baby is taking a lot of that, and the women, you know that, Rena. They take a lot of your nutrients and stuff like that. But it's interesting that the woman that is one of the greatest pains at birth. Man cannot have that kind of pain. But man can suffer from severe nerve pain. The woman has to go through it one time. A man may have to go through that severe level 9, 10 pain, because that's what it is. Nerve pain is not level 2 or 3. Like childbirth, it's up there. Level 10, maybe. But it's just a period of time. And thank God, because I don't know how women would handle 2 or 3 days of that torture. Oh, we're bringing a child into the world. Yay. But the woman right inside, deep down inside, especially if you've never done this thing before, man, you're on a spaceship, right? It's like you're on a spaceship and you're just, you're waiting for the doors to open. But it is a painful, I'm not making light of that. Yes, I give you that. But man experiences pain. He can withstand longer periods of pain. And that is true. So thank you for sharing that. Rena, and shall we take our next caller, please? Welcome to Soldiers of Self-Mastery. Let me see who. Mirella Cardinal. Hello from Canada. Hey. Oh, man, my back. Can you guys see the new t-shirts? I mean, I think these are cool, man. Boom. Awesome. So we're going to be posting t-shirts. We're going to be making some really cool changes for you guys, man. I know some people don't like to wear the t-shirts, but actually I made these with the logo. See the logo? Soldiers of Self-Mastery. Actually, I'll show you this. There we go. This will be a better shot. Anyways, I cut the sleeves off because my arms were getting too skinny. So I decided to, plus I skipped leg day. No, I didn't. I just can't do leg day anymore. Pretty cool. And then the back. See? When I put this t-shirt on, this is no lie, it does. When I put this t-shirt on, it does something to my psyche. It does. So we're going to be promoting some cool shirts. In fact, some of you might have ideas. You can help us promote, create ideas, man. Come on, folks. You guys got to listen. If I had my store open right there, look at that. There would be a donation. A part of that would go into that because it is expensive, man, to make a t-shirt. Never mind one, but to make more, 5 and 6 and 7, whatever. Unless you know somebody that can create good quality product, because I don't want cheap stuff. This is moderate. It's not really cheap, but it's not really high end. But I've had it for about a year now, and the design has not faded. Still has all that goodness back there. And when I put it on, man. Yeah, these t-shirts were costing me, I made about 6 or 7 of these. They were costing me about $25, $25, I think. But I had to put into the design, and it takes time. And I can't do that. So, Marella, thank you for hanging out. Turley, okay. All the time. Anybody else? Number 1, message deleted. All right, good. Thank you for the moderators. I appreciate you guys, man. Be on the lookout. I wonder where's Jim. I told him we were going live tonight. I think Jim needs prayer, folks. Jim needs prayer. He's not doing, I think he needs to get his business. There's things that need to be changes in his business to help. I think that's where his challenge is right there. Because Jim is a nice guy, but sometimes he might be too soft, but he's becoming hard. And that can create a friction with business. Right? So thank you guys. I appreciate, man. I'm going to be live again Sunday. What to do about all your distractions. Again, Proverbs 4:23, God, keep your heart, right? How do you do that? You spend time with quality people. You spend time with people that help you think about your future. You may have a long one. I don't know what I have left. I know I'm going up the hill. Right? But I know one thing. A bad diet is going to screw you over big time. A platter, the world offers a big platter. Right? A big platter. It's got all kinds of stuff on the platter. And where's the Bible? Okay. Here it is, folks. So we got all this stuff, and right. This is the world offering me all this stuff, man. Look at that. I already spilled it on the floor. Right? The platter buffet, the whole world offering you. But you're eating some of this stuff. right? I'm not talking about this stuff, but we're talking about movie theaters. We're talking about Ladbrokes, right? Betting on horses, rolling the dice. I used to get ripped off rolling the dice on the ship because they had trick dice. I forgot to say that. Right? The world has a platter, and so does the kingdom of light. The kingdom of light has a platter also. So whichever platter you're feeding from, it's either going to make you weaker, faster, or it's going to help you get stronger, quicker. And that's up to you on the other side. I'll be here as long as God keeps me. Again, I thank you guys. Appreciate all the donations. You know, I appreciate the donations. And, oh boy. Man, that didn't go so well, huh? Let me say a prayer for all of us before I get off the airwaves. And the worst part, that I still use my paycheck for gambling. Well, yeah. What would I say to somebody if they came to me? Is there something I can do? Okay, well, if you're not going to quit gambling, which the likelihood is you're probably not, until something could happen to change that, I would say, if you're losing your wallet, everything that you have in your wallet, work harder and then make up for your losses, right? I could tell you also to stop gambling because you know you're going to have it. I'm not going to do that. You already know that. You need to remove the distractions and figure out what is the thing that you need to focus on. What are you eating? Yep, maybe. Okay, let me see. Is there anybody else? Any more comments? All right. Folks, until Sunday, be live with me here Sunday. Sunday, Domingo.